Hi, I'm Captain FDA. I'm going to teach you all about the Food and Drug Administration and how it keeps us all safe and sound. Let's go back in time.
Oh boy, I sure love the 1800s. The drugs aren't safe at all. I'm dying of consumption.
Look at this poor orphan boy. What can we as pharmacists do to keep him safe?
Gosh golly, mister. Looks like the U.S. Pharmacopoeia was just established by 11 physicians to do just that.
That sure is spell checkaboo, but we'll learn to be even more safe by establishing an entire administration to handle the safety of our food and drugs.
Golly, that sounds great. Maybe I can live past my early 20s.
Unfortunately, you'll have to wait 86 years until 1906 for the FDA.
Aw, shucks.
The FDA started out by passing the Meat Inspection Act to make sure we were getting clean food, but later they would go on to influence our medications as well with the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act in 1938.
Well, what's that?
The Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act requires new drugs to be shown as safe before marketing them. This also required pharmacists to be careful not to mislabel drugs.
Golly, mister, so drugs weren't safe before until the FDA? That's terrifying.
It sure was terrifying. Later in 1949, the FDA required black box labels to be placed on medications that required warnings. Then, in 1951, the FDA made sure that certain medications had to be prescribed by a doctor to be acquired by a patient.
Well, that sounds like a good idea, Captain FDA. Us poor folk are excluded from self-treatment anyway.
You're right. Then to further emphasize the safety of drugs, the Kefauver-Harris Drug Amendment in 1962 required drug manufacturers to prove the efficacy of their medications before they could be sold.
1962? What does 1962 have in store for a poor orphan boy like me anyway?
Well, in 1983, the Orphan Drug Act promoted research for rare diseases, so they weren't just helping us treat patients by making our medications safe. They were also developing new treatments. Which leads us to the present.
Gosh, there are so many things to learn.
You're right. Like, why do we have to learn about all these FDA laws and stuff?
Because the FDA is still helping us today.
Captain FDA!
But I thought the FDA was just a thing of the past. Like, I know they helped the world of pharmacy a lot back in the day, but do we even need them now?
Yeah, like medications are pretty safe these days. Does the FDA even affect pharmacists anymore?
More than you might think, young one. For example, the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act, passed in 1994, means that the FDA could regulate more over-the-counter drugs and make sure that they are labeled in a standardized way.
But that was before I was even born. Is the FDA even doing anything in my lifetime?
Well, in 2009, the Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act regulated how tobacco products are made, distributed, and marketed.
Well, people shouldn't even be smoking nowadays anyways. It's gross and disgusting. Everybody knows that.
People know that smoking is bad thanks to the FDA's efforts to educate public and make sure that tobacco companies didn't influence the minds of our youth like they did in the 1980s.
Huh, that's cool.
Then, in 2012, the FDA passed the Food and Drug Administration Safety and Innovation Act, which promotes safety in the way that the patient receives their medications, ensuring they get the help they need faster and safer.
Wow, I guess the medical world still has a lot of changes to make.
Thankfully, the FDA is with us to ensure that we continue to provide the best care we can for our patients as we gain new knowledge about how to be healthy. But what does our future look like?
Ooh.
So, future pharmacists, what has our friend the FDA been up to?
Well, there's always more safety to be had as we've learned more about diseases and developed ways to best treat them. The FDA has been there along the way to ensure that patients' health and safety comes first.